What's up, Tech Gang? Stefan here from TechRight. Is it worth it to upgrade from the Galaxy A51 to the Galaxy A52? Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is in good health. We have the Galaxy A52 right here. We're going to be talking about a few of the specifications and comparing them to the Galaxy A51 and pretty much talking about my experience. And most of all, is it worth it to upgrade to the Galaxy A52? Now, starting off the release dates for each of these devices, the first one, the Galaxy A51, was released in December 12th of 2019, so basically 2020, and the Galaxy A52 was released March 17th, 2021. Starting off with the prices, you can get the Galaxy A51 for about $290, and you can get the Galaxy A52 for about $360. Getting into the builds of these devices, the Galaxy A51 actually had a glass front, and that's going to be Gorilla Glass 3. It had a plastic back and a plastic frame. Now, as far as the Galaxy A52, we had a glass front, plastic back, plastic frame on this device, but we also have better Gorilla Glass. We have Gorilla Glass 5 on the Galaxy A52, so you're going to have a more protected device with this newer glass on the A52. And as far as any IP ratings on these devices, the Galaxy A52 has an IP67 dust and water resistance up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. And the Galaxy A51 does not have a rating. Now, getting into the display on these devices, this is probably my favorite part about the Galaxy A52 is that this has a Super AMOLED display and it's actually 90 Hz. Now, the Galaxy A51 is Super AMOLED and it doesn't have a 90 Hz display. It only has 60, so I'm glad that we upgraded the display on this. So Netflix, shows, and certain things like that, video games, are going to look much better on the Galaxy A52 with that higher refresh rate. Now, both these devices are going to have the same dimensions as far as the size of the phone. They're both going to be 6.5 inches, but the Galaxy A51 does actually have a better screen to body ratio at 87.4%. Compared to 84.1%. Both these devices are also going to be 1080p by 2400, and both are going to have a 20:9 aspect ratio. As far as the PPI, the Galaxy A52 is going to have a 407 PPI compared to the prior A51 at 405 PPI, so really not too much has changed right there. Getting to the platform of these devices, as far as the operating system, the Galaxy A51 had Android 10, but it was upgraded to Android 11, One UI 3.1, and the Galaxy A52 came straight out of the box with Android 11, One UI 3.1, but we also have better security updates and certain things like that that we've gotten on the A52 that the A51 has not gotten yet. As far as the chipset on the A51, we had an Exynos 9611, and on the A52 we have a Snapdragon 720G, or we have the 720G 5G chip on the Galaxy A52 5G version. As far as the CPU, both these devices are going to have an octa-core processor, the A51 being a Cortex A73 and Cortex A53, and as far as the Galaxy A52, we're going to have a Cairo 465 Gold and a 465 Silver. As far as their GPU, we're going to have the Mali G72 on the A51, and with the new Galaxy A52, we actually have an Adreno 618. Now, as far as the base model of both these devices, the base model on the A51 was 64 gigs with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the A52's base model is 128 gigabytes internal and 4 gigabytes of RAM. They both have top models also that cap out at 256 gigabytes internal and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, getting into the main cameras on these devices, the Galaxy A52 is going to have a nicer looking module in my opinion. You guys can leave in the comment section down below what you believe, but as far as the cameras go, we're going to have a 64 megapixel wide angle camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 5 megapixel depth on the A52. As for the A51, we're only going to have a 48 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 5 megapixel depth. Both these devices will have LED flash, panorama, and HDR as well. Now, as far as the recording on these cameras, we can actually record up to 4K at 30 frames per second on both these devices. Now, for the A51, there's something that you can actually do that's better than the A52. You can shoot up to 120 frames per second on the A51, and on the A52, you can only shoot up to 60 frames per second at 1080p, so that's nice that the A51 still has that. Don't know why they didn't put that in the A52. Probably because it didn't work too well, and probably because not too many people use it, to be quite honest. but hopefully we get that in the next iteration, or that comes in an update. Now, as far as the front-facing camera, both are going to be 32 megapixels, and they're going to be wide-angle cameras. It's going to be capable of HDR. Both are going to be able to shoot at 4K 30 frames per second and 1080p at 30 frames per second as well. And both are going to have that hole punch right there in the middle that I think just looks really good. And hopefully they're going to stay with that later on and not ever use a teardrop notch ever again. Now, as far as the speakers on this device are going to be much better. Just because they have stereo speakers compared to the A51 that does not have stereo speakers on that device. Both devices are going to have a fingerprint sensor, an optical fingerprint sensor under the screen, and I think the A52 definitely did it better. It feels like it's a more accurate fingerprint sensor and a quicker one as well, so I definitely go with the A52. And getting into the battery finally on these devices, the Galaxy A51 only had a 4,000 milliamp battery, which is rated to charge at 15 watts. Compared to the new Galaxy A52, we have a 4,500 milliamp battery, fast charging up to 25 watts at that rating, and we can charge up to 50% in about 30 minutes as advertised. Now, as far as colors on these devices, this is basically preference, but the Galaxy A51 had prism black, white, blue, and pink. But as far as the Galaxy A52, we have 4 colors as well this year. We have black, white, violet, and awesome blue, this color that I have right here. I definitely want to check out the violet. I think the violet looks super sexy, but this device color is super nice as well. Now, as far as our performance, we have much better scores on the Galaxy A52 compared to the Galaxy A51. So starting off with our AnTuTu benchmark, on the A52, we got a score of 261,282 compared to the Galaxy A51 with a score of 175,363. As far as our Geekbench on the A51, we got a score of 5,401 and a score of 5,865 on the A52. And as far as the GFX bench, we only got 5.6 FPS on the A51 and 15 FPS on the A52. And the endurance is going to be much better on this Galaxy A52's battery because it has 500 milliamps more. So we're going to get 105 hours endurance rating on the Galaxy A52 and an 86-hour endurance rating on the Galaxy A51. But as far as if you should upgrade from the A51 to the A52, honestly, it's only about a $70 difference. And in my opinion, yeah, I think the Galaxy A52 is definitely a great upgrade. We're going to have, major OS updates, security patches, and we're going to have many other features that we don't get on the A51. Now, this wasn't the same for the A71 and the A72, but I'm definitely saying that the A52 is absolutely worth it. So if you guys are looking for a phone to upgrade to from the A51, the A52 is definitely the way to go. Also, I'll leave some links in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and check those out. Those are going to be affiliate links, so these do help out the channel, and I get a little kickback from them, so I do appreciate it if you use those links. But yeah, guys, I would say that the A52 is definitely worth the upgrade, and it's definitely a better phone. If you guys have any other opposing arguments, definitely put them in the comment section down below. I'd love to talk to you guys about this. But if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below, as well as subscribing if you're not a part of the Tech Gang already. Also, hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified every time I do upload a new video. This has been Safan from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.